Hello, welcome to the replay. Today is February 15th, and I am excited to be back with you for another Mondays with Mo. It's the day after Valentine's Day, so before we get into this conversation about self love, I want to know, was your Valentine's Day lovely or was it lovely? Just saying. Welcome to the Confetti Collective. If this is your first time here, we are a digital media platform here to support women like you. Everything that we do is supported around encouraging, inspiring, and walking the journey with you to taking responsibility, taking ownership, and taking up space in your life. I am Mo James, the certified confidence coach and founder behind the Confetti Collective. And everything that I do is designed to activate your audacity. Mondays with Mo is my weekly opportunity just to pop in and chit chat with you all, have a real conversation about real things centered in the lives of real women. And I'm excited to be here with you today to talk about why self-love is capital I, capital T. Now, before we get into this, I want to encourage you to share this broadcast. Tag a woman that you know, a sister friend, a girlfriend, a bestie, or whomever that should be a part of this conversation. It's going to be good. Now, I did a pop-up broadcast before the weekend last week where I really was encouraging our audience to be their own Valentine, because Valentine's Day brings out all this pressure. There is pressure to perform on all levels during Valentine's Day, right? And I wanted to remind the women in our audience to focus on making self-love their thing, because whether you are in a relationship or not, Valentine's Day really is just an outward expression of the things that I believe we should be doing for ourselves every single day of the year, right? Self-love is a practice. It's not a routine. And I specify the difference because when you think about a routine, what do you think about? Fitness routine, whatever routine. You think about things that you are forced to do, right? Or things that we force ourselves to do. And that kind of creates a different type of energy where it's like, I got to go do such and such right now. We don't want to feel like that about our self-love. So for me, I consider self-love to be a practice because it is something that we do with the goal of getting better. I want to always be getting better at expressing love to myself and showing love to myself. So what is it? Like I said, self-love is it. IT. It's the foundation, it's the baseline for everything else that happens in our lives and around our lives. Self-love should be showing up in our lives every single day, not just during the month of love, right? I have a good friend that uses this acronym SLIK, SLIK, and it stands for self-love is key. And I love that saying because it really is a reminder that self-love is the key to unlocking everything that we want in life. It's the standard for how we are nurtured and cared for and treated, right? I have another friend that buys herself flowers often. And she was talking recently about how she was told by somebody else that she's making it hard for anybody to come into her life because she treats herself so well. First, I was like, well, that's not an insult. If anything, not even if anything, that's a compliment. Okay. You should want anybody that comes into your life or that has ideas about coming into your life should want to exceed the standard that you've already set. That's why self-love is so important. But I think we get this idea of self-love really mixed up a lot. We get it confused. We think about it as an event or something that happens ever so often, like when we go to the nail salon or when we go get a massage. Those are expressions of self-love, but they're not the foundation. They're not the core idea, right? So I believe, again, like I said, we get this mixed up sometimes and we get really confused about what it looks like. So I want to talk about what self-love is and what it isn't, so that we can all be clear. So the first thing, self-love is it's not based on what we're doing. So it's not about achievement and it's not about always being happy, because we just not always happy. Like that's just the truth of life, right? Self-love isn't rooted in shame or finding fault or being a victim It's none of those things. It's not, we're not doing it to show somebody up or to prove somebody wrong or any of those things. Where self-love is the incubator for a confident life. It is the warm, nurturing, surrounding, soft place to land for us if we desire to live a confident lifestyle. And self-love cannot exist in a space where there is trauma or patterns of trauma and dysfunction. Self-love is not about being perfect, because I think, especially with perfectionism, a lot of times that's rooted in controlling how other people see us. It's rooted in looking like we have it all together, which is external validation. And you really can't love yourself if you're really focused on trying to prove yourself to somebody else. So now that we're clear on what it is and what it isn't, I want to offer us just some tips to, not even some tips, some benefits, because the way that you get there is going to be different for every woman, I believe. In As a confidence coach, I work with women and we work through exercises and different things to help them really get to what that looks like for them. So what I want to share with you are some benefits, because we're all about the benefits. Okay. So just a couple of benefits of making self-care a priority. I mean, not self-care, self-love a priority in your life, so that we will all be willing to do the work to help us get to that place. So the first benefit of making self-love a priority is you will be gentler as a person. You'll be gentler with yourself and with others. You know, you will support yourself through your ups and downs, and you will know how to hold yourself accountable without beating yourself up, because there's a fine line between the two. I think women sometimes have a tendency to speak harshly to ourselves because we think that that's the way to get us to perform better or the way to get us to improve. And that's not always the case. I don't think that's ever the case. Even for the people that do perform better from negative reinforcement, that negative reinforcement still creates damage. So if there is a way to nurture yourself through that process and support yourself to performing better without beating yourself up, then I would definitely recommend doing it. That's what self-love allows us to do. So we are gentler with ourselves, which allows us to be gentler with others. Second benefit is it fosters a deeper sense of self-reliance. So when you're on that journey of discovering and really activating self-love as a practice in your life, it creates a sense of curiosity. It creates a sense of satisfaction that sparks curiosity. So you will feel like, and when you feel that in one area of your life, what does that want to make you do? Go figure out how to create that in all areas of your life. So it creates that curiosity, which so we start to explore those other areas to create that. And that's a reminder of how we can use our own power to create what we desire. So it really is rooted. It's called the internal locus of control, but I didn't want to use that word. It's a deeper sense of self-reliance. We really start to learn that we can depend on ourselves to create what it is that we desire in our lives. And we start to collect those wins, or that keeps us going. Like, well, if I could create that here, then let me see what I could do in this area, and then let me see what I can do in this area, and this one, and this one, and this one. We incrementally and over time start to take ownership and take responsibility and take up space in our lives and create that everywhere. That is beautiful. That is just so beautiful. And then the third benefit, the final benefit, is we will create and have healthier relationships. Because here's the thing, a lot of times, especially considering the time that we're in, this Valentine's Day thing and all of that pressure, we find and experience this drive to perform for other people, or having the other person automatically know what it is that you want, or automatically know how you want to be loved, and all of these things. All of that is rooted in external validation, and it really comes from a place of desperation. Like it's chasing. It's not coming from a place of realistic expectations and peace and calm and balance. It's chasing. It's that frenetic, desperate energy. And who wants to be surrounded in that? So, especially in your relationships, romantic and otherwise, when you have learned how to show self-love, when you have learned how to nurture yourself, then you come into every relationship that you're in as a whole person. So then you have standards, because whole people have standards, and you are able to communicate those standards, and the other person, people, have a choice. And if they choose to opt out of your standards, you are still whole. You don't lose anything. That's why your relationships will be healthier, because you won't come into them looking for the other person to validate you, complete you, make you feel good, pump you up, all of the things. All of the things. You won't be looking for that, because you will have learned how to nurture that within yourself. That's why self-love is it. Because especially in this season, I don't know what your timelines were looking like, but timelines all out here were just looking crazy because people were really upset about things that other people were doing, or things that other people weren't doing, and whatever. But here's the thing. Sweep in front of your own door. Worry about what's in front of you. Because if you are not happy with what's in front of you, then judging or whatevering at somebody else isn't going to make what's in front of you any better. You will have to deal with that. And when it comes to the circumstances and the surroundings and all of the things we find ourselves in, we have to own and accept that what we receive from others is a reflection. What we receive from others should be a reflection of what we are already giving to ourselves. And if we recognize that what you're giving to yourself is not up to par, then you have a tremendous opportunity to adjust and elevate. And when you elevate how you love yourself, then the people around you, again, they will have a choice. And you won't be invested in trying to control their choices. Let people make their choices, and know that if they choose to opt out, you'll still be good. You won't lose any love, because you have been nurturing and focusing and feeding yourself love the whole time. So that's what I wanted to share. I would love to hear your takeaways, your comments. Let me know how you feel about this conversation. Let me know if there's more that you all want to talk about. This self-love thing, I'm recognizing, there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and it's causing people to, it's not setting us up for success in our lives. It's not setting us up for the joy and the peace and the love and the everything that we want. So I felt the need to talk about it. I would love to hear your takeaways. I would love to keep this conversation going. So let's talk about it. Until my next broadcast, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I am Mo James, confidence coach and founder of the Confetti Collective, where everything we do here is designed to help you do three things: take responsibility, take ownership, and take up space in your life. So I thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in my next broadcast. Bye.